Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Dan and this is Stout Gaming. Today we're going to be going through the Great Lakes Draft League and the playoff race as it stands entering Week 10. Most teams have played 9 games, some have only played 8 so far, but we're going to be looking at the different scenarios on how different teams can get a bye or make the playoffs. So just as a quick reminder about the rules for the GLDL. The first thing, obviously, is your record. If you have a better record than someone, you're going to be rated higher than them. If you have a better game differential, it's going to be the first tiebreaker we look at. So, for example, if you are 6-4, but all of your losses were 2-1 and all your wins were 2-0, then you're going to have a differential of +8. That means you're going to be better than someone who is 6-4 with every game being 2-1, whose differential is going to be +2. And then the third differential we look at is Pokemon differential. So that means every Pokemon you kill is a positive towards your differential, and every time one of your Pokemon faints, it's a negative towards your differential. This one we will have to go back in and calculate to see what everyone's differential is, if there are any ties that matter for seeding between after game differential. And then we have head-to-head tiebreak matchup as the final tiebreaker. So throughout this video, anything that is described as a lock is going to be because their record and game differential is going to end up being better. I didn't really consider the Pokemon differential because, like I said, we'll have to go through each team that is tied to determine what their final Pokemon differential is. So if there seems like a scenario that is in between two things that were described, it's probably a tie in game differential, and I didn't mention it because I'm not going to say either team is locked, because I don't know for sure with Pokemon differential who's going to be better or who's going to be worse, because we'll have to calculate for dropped Pokemon as well as the ones that are already on your team. Without any further ado, we are going to start with the Erie Division. So, to lock up a bye, the Saddle Superlacs are in position to lock a bye if one of the following things happens. They win one game, not a set, but a game, the Pangorials lose one game, or the Braviaries lose their match. If any of those three happens, the Superlacs will have either the 1 or 2 seed in Erie and get a bye. The Braviaries can lock a bye with a match win or a 2-1 loss or a 1-2 loss with both of the following happening. If the Wishy-Washis lose and the Pangorials lose their matches respectively, and there's a 1-2 loss, the Braviaries will lock a bye. The Pangorials lock a bye, it's pretty simple. They have to win and the Braviaries lose. Then they lock a bye. And the Wishy-Washis will lock a bye if they get a 2-0 win with match losses by both the Pangorials and Braviaries, or a 2-1 win with a match loss by the Pangorials and an 0-2 loss by the Braviaries. This is to avoid the game differential being tied. So in Erie, to look at the playoff berths, the winner of the Scizors and the Oshawotts is guaranteed a spot. If the Scizors end up winning, the Magikarp are guaranteed a spot, and their game doesn't matter. But if the Oshawotts win, the Magikarp are in a situation where if they win, they will make the playoffs. If they lose, then the Scizors will make the playoffs. Locked for playoffs in Erie Division are the Superlacs, the Braviaries, the Pangorials, the Wishy-Wash, and the Wishy-Washi. Eliminated from contention in the Erie Division currently are Born in Chaos, the Cantons, Ninjazards, Cubfoos, and Ursaring. Moving on to the Huron Division. Erie was the simple one. The rest of these are going to take a little bit longer. The Delmise will lock a bye if they win a single game, or the Mamoswines, who have 2 sets left, lose a game in either of those sets. The Sylveons will lock a bye with a 2-0 win, or a 2-1 win and a game lost by the Mamoswines in either set, or a 1-2 loss and set losses by both the Mamoswines and the Shelai, who are Burst's team, the Shellos, Shelai, Shellosses, that. Or the Sylveons can get the bye if they lose 0-2 and all of the following occur. The Shellos have to lose their set. The Mamoswines have to finish no better than 1-1 with an even differential. A game loss by the Flares, and a game loss, not a match loss, by the Krabbies. The Mamoswines can lock a bye if they get a 2-0 finish, and there is a loss by either the Sylveons or the Delmise. Pretty simple enough. The Shellos can lock a bye with a win and losses by the Sylveons and Mamoswines. The Krabbies and Flares, who are currently in 5th and 6th in the division, can actually tie for a bye, so we would have to go into the Pokemon differential, because this will tie on game differential, with a 2-0 win and all of the following occurring. A 2-0 loss by the Sylveons, a match loss by the Shellos, and the Mamoswines finishing no better than 1-1 with a +1 differential. Here's where things start getting complicated. To lock playoffs in Huron, the Shellos lock with a win. Or if they get a 1-2 loss, 2 of the following 5 things have to happen for them. The Mamoswines have to finish 0-2, the Krabbies must lose their match, Flare lose their match, the Smokers lose their match, or the Sceptiles lose a game. Or, if the Shellos lose 0-2 this week, then 3 of the following have to happen. Again, the Mamoswines finishing 0-2, the Krabbies losing a match, the Flare losing a match, the Smokers losing a match, or the Sceptiles losing a match and not a game. The Mamoswines, since they have 2 sets left, have the most complicated path. They can lock a spot by going at least 1-1 plus 1. They're just locked if they do that. Or if they go 1-1 plus 0 and the Smokers lose a game, they will be locked. Or 1-1 plus 0 and either the Krabbies or the Flare lose their set, or 1-1 plus 0 and they get an 0-2 loss from the Shellos. So if they go 1-1 minus 1, they would need a set loss by 2 of the Smokers, the Flare, the Krabbies, and the Sceptiles, and a game loss by the Ironworks to lock. If they go 0-2 minus 2, so losing 2-1, 2-1, they would need a set loss by the Smokers and 0-2 losses by either the Krabbies or the Flares, and a set loss by the Sceptiles and the Ironworks. If they go 0-2 minus 3, they would need an 0-2 loss by the Smokers and set losses by the Sceptiles and the Ironworks. And I believe match losses by the Krabbies and the Flare as well. Or no, just set losses by the Smokers and the Ironworks, because the Krabbies and Flare would be above them. 0-2 minus 4, he cannot lock a spot. He can still tie for a spot, but he cannot lock for a spot. The Krabbies and the Flare, they will both lock with a playoffs with a 2-0 win, or a 2-1 win with a game loss by the Smokers, or a match loss from the other, or a 1-2 loss with at least 3 of the following happening. An 0-2 loss by the other, so they would be better than the other, because they are tied in differential right now. A match loss by the Smokers, a match loss by the Sceptiles, a match loss by the Ironworks, and the Mamoswine finishing 0-2 minus 3 or worse. They could also potentially lock 0-2 if at least 3 of the 4 things happen. An 0-2 loss by the Smokers, the Mamoswines finishing 0-2 minus 4, match loss by the Sceptiles, and match loss by the Ironworks. The Coughing Smokers can clinch with a win, and match losses by the Shellos, Krabbies, Flare, or Mamoswines. The Mamoswines would have to lose both their sets. Or a 1-2 loss, and the Mamoswine finishing 0-2 minus 4, and losses by both the Sceptiles and the Ironworks would put the Smokers into position for that 6th spot. With an 0-2 loss instead of a 1-2 loss, they cannot clinch a playoff spot, no matter how perfectly the rest of the week goes for them. The Sceptiles will clinch a spot with a 2-0 win and at least 2 of the following happening. A match loss by the Shellos, a match loss by the Krabbies, a match loss by the Flare, a match loss by the Smokers, and the Mamoswines finishing 0-2. If they have a 2-1 win, they would need 2 of the following happening. An 0-2 loss by the Shellos, and then the rest are the same. Match losses by Krabbies, Flare, and Smokers, and the Mamoswine finishing 0-2. So it's a long path, but they've got a route there. Ironworks also have a route to the playoffs. They can clinch with a 2-0 win and 3 of the following 5 things happening. Mamoswine finishing 0-2. Match loss by the Krabbies. Match loss by the Flare. Match loss by the Smokers. Match loss by the Sceptiles. Or if they win 2-1, they need to have 3 of the following 5 happen. Mamoswine finishing at best 0-2 minus 3. So 0-2 minus 2 would not do it. Flare losing 0-2. Krabbies losing 0-2. The Smokers losing, and the Sceptiles losing. The Guzzlords have a route to the playoffs. If they can tie for a playoff spot, we'd have to go into Mon differential. If they win 2-0 and all of the following happen. The Septiles lose their set, the Ironworks lose their set, the Smokers lose their set 0-2, and the Mammoth Swine lose both of their remaining sets 0-2. So far in the Huron Division, the Dalmais and Sylveons are locked for the playoffs, and the Stunfisks and Flygons are out of contention. Moving on to the Superior Division. The Pretzels can lock a bye with a win, with a game win in either of his last two, or with a match win in either of his last two matches, or finishing 0-2 -3 or better, and a loss by the Crabhammers, or finishing 0-2 -4, and a loss by the Crabhammers and a game loss by House Luxray. The Talonflames can lock a bye with a win, or if they get a 1-2 loss, and then a loss by the Crabhammers and a loss by the Luxray, or if there's an 0-2 loss by the Talonflames, they will lock a bye if the Crabhammers lose their match and the Luxray lose their match, and not just a game. Looking at the Crabhammers, they lock a bye with a win and a loss by the Talonflames, or the Pretzels losing both of their remaining matches. The Luxrays can get a bye with a 2-0 win, an 0-2 loss for the Talonflames, and a loss by the Crabhammers. So playoff locks in Superior are the Pretzels, Talonflames, Crabhammers, and Luxray. The playoff berth. For the Trubai to get a playoff berth, they are locked with a win, or a 1-2 loss, and two of the following three happen. If the Delibirds lose, the Breloom lose, and the Jirachi finish no better than 2-0 +3. So they can't finish 2-0, 2-0, they can finish 2-0, 2-1. Then the Trubai will lock. Or if the Trubai lose 0-2, they still need the Delibirds to lose, the Breloom to lose, and the Jirachi can finish no better than 2-0 +2. The Delibirds and Breloom each lock with a 2-0 win and one of the following: a Trubai loss or a game lost by the other. If they get a 2-1 win, they would need two of the following: the Trubai to lose 0-2, a match loss by the other, and the Jirachis to finish no better than 2-0 +3. If they get a 1-2 loss, they would need each of the following to occur: the Jirachi match loss, an 0-2 loss by the other, and an Obstagoon game loss. They cannot lock without having to go to Mon differential if they lose 0-2 this week. The Jirachis lock if they go 2-0, 2-0, and two of the following things happen: the Trubai lose 0-2, the Delibirds lose, and the Breloom lose, or if they finish 2-0 +2 and +3, and both the Delibirds and Breloom lose. The Obstagoons and Greninja lock with a 2-0 win and all of the following happening: the Delibirds lose 2-0, the Brelooms lose 2-0, and the Jirachi lose a match. I don't know if that would actually put them tied with one another, but I believe they could both potentially lock. No, that would put them tied with one another. If that happened for both of them, but they can lock if that happens, and the other one receives a game loss as well. And now for the longest shot. The Grimmsnarls can tie for a playoff spot if they win 2-0 and all of the following occur. The Breloom lose 2-0. They play each other, so that would have to happen. The Delibird lose 0-2. The Jirachis finish no better than 1-1 +1. The Greninjas do not win 2-0, and the Obstagoons do not win 2-0. Then the Grimmsnarls can tie for a spot. And that is the state of the playoff race in the GLDL up to this point. I hope you guys have enjoyed this short little video, and if you have any questions, just reach out to me in the Discord, but tried to keep it as short, as informative as possible. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/stoutgame. Thank you guys for coming out, and I'll see you next time. Bye.